On a morning not unlike this one, people not unlike us were waking up to enjoy another day in paradise.
耳を澄ますと寄せては返す波の音が聞こえてきます。降り注ぐ日の柔らかな光に照らされた青い静かな入り江。
At 7:55 a.m. on Sunday, December 7, 1941, the skies over Pearl Harbor, Hawaii, thundered with the roar of Japanese warplanes, shattering the morning calm. In an instant, the mightiest naval base in the Pacific became a sea of fire. It was the day President Roosevelt called a date which will live in infamy, a dark chapter in American history.
A date which will live in infamy.
A quiet Sunday morning in Hawaii. While American sailors were still asleep and families were preparing for a peaceful day, a swarm of Japanese aircraft suddenly appeared from the north. Although it was a day of rest, everyone believed that the roaring engines above were nothing more than naval aircraft engaged in their routine drills. In less than 2 hours, one of the most powerful naval bases in the world was turned into a sea of fire. This was Pearl Harbor, the event that changed the destiny of World War II. During the 1930s, Japan expanded aggressively across Asia. It invaded Manchuria, launched a brutal war in China, and dreamed of controlling the Pacific. The United States, mighty in its economic power, initially stood neutral, yet its watchful eyes never strayed from Japan's advancing steps. By 1940 to 1941, Washington imposed embargoes on oil, steel, and rubber, resources Japan desperately needed. At the same time, Tokyo signed the Tripartite Pact with Germany and Italy, strengthening the Axis powers. Admiral Isoroku Yamamoto, mastermind of the Imperial Japanese Navy, warned, "If we are forced into war with the United States, our only chance is to strike a powerful blow at the beginning, to shatter their will before they can gather their strength." Yamamoto assembled a formidable strike force. 6 aircraft carriers, Akagi, Kaga, Soryu, Hiryu, Shokaku, Zuikaku, over 350 aircraft, Mitsubishi, a 6M0 fighters, Aichi D-3A Val dive bombers, and Nakajima B-5N Kate torpedo bombers. The fleet sailed under absolute secrecy across the North Pacific. The goal: cripple the U.S. Pacific Fleet at Pearl Harbor before America could mobilize for war. 6 a.m., 5 Japanese midget submarines attempted to infiltrate the harbor. 7:55 a.m., the first wave of 183 aircraft descended upon Oahu. 0 fighters swept the skies and strafed airfields. Torpedo bombers streaked low over the water, aiming for battleships moored in neat rows. USS Arizona was struck by a bomb that detonated her forward magazine. A massive explosion killed over 1,100 sailors instantly. USS Oklahoma was hit by multiple torpedoes and capsized, trapping hundreds inside. The harbor erupted in chaos. Many Americans initially believed it was just a drill. 8:50 a.m., a second wave of 170 planes arrived. Airfields at Hickam, Wheeler, and Ford Island were devastated. More than 180 American aircraft were destroyed on the ground. Battleships California, West Virginia, and Nevada were badly damaged. The sea trembled as flames and smoke engulfed the harbor, turning a place of peace into a blazing inferno. Amid the firestorm, American sailors fought back desperately. Some manned anti-aircraft guns, others used rifles to shoot at the sky. Yet under the relentless rain of bombs from above, every effort to resist seemed in vain. Cries for help mingled with the thunder of explosions, turning Pearl Harbor into a scene of unprecedented devastation. On the USS Nevada, sailors managed to get the battleship underway, trying to escape the harbor even as bombs rained down. At nearby hospitals, doctors and nurses worked endlessly, treating waves of wounded. Civilians across Honolulu watched in horror as smoke and flames rose high into the sky. On that fateful morning, the entire island was shrouded in grief, and America's peace was lost forever. In less than 2 hours, America suffered staggering losses. 8 battleships sunk or heavily damaged, 188 aircraft destroyed, 2,403 Americans killed, more than 1,000 wounded. Japan lost just 29 aircraft, 5 midget submarines, and 64 men. Yet, the attack failed to destroy fuel depots, repair facilities, and most importantly, the American aircraft carriers were not in port that day. Despite its success, Japan had not landed a decisive blow. Admiral Yamamoto later lamented, "I fear all we have done is to awaken a sleeping giant and fill him with a terrible resolve." The sleeping giant was the industrial and military might of the United States. On December 8, 1941, President Franklin D. Roosevelt addressed Congress in his famous speech.
December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy.
Congress voted almost unanimously to declare war on Japan. Within days, Germany and Italy declared war on the US. The attack on Pearl Harbor had drawn America fully into World War II. Pearl Harbor united the American people as never before. From that day, the United States transformed into a global military power. Just 6 months later, at the Battle of Midway, American carriers struck back and destroyed 4 Japanese carriers, a turning point in the Pacific War. From the ashes of Pearl Harbor, a resilient America arose. And from Midway, the world recognized that the era of Japan's decline had begun. Pearl Harbor was more than a military strike. It was a wake-up call to the world, a turning point in human history. December 7th, 1941 will forever be remembered, not only as a day of tragedy, but as the day that forged America's resolve and changed the course of World War II